Before I get started, I just want to say this video has spoilers for Hollow Knight. Duh. Do you want to hear a story about a tiny bug who beats up his half-sister twice, then uses a magical glowy dream sword to kill her mom? Then, this little bug also beats up a dung beetle in his poop cave so it can grab the tear of the dung beetle's girlfriend, allowing the little bug to swim in acid, all while fighting itself, and sometimes literally. If you want to hear a story like that, that is really specific, but I should be able to accommodate. Our journey begins in King's Pass. Immediately I started having issues with lag. Between streams I got an Ethernet cable which fixed the problems for future streams. I make my way through King's Pass, the tutorial area of the game, getting used to the controls again because it's been a while since I've played. I exit King's Pass into Dirtmouth, a once thriving city, now home to only one. The one and only Elderbug. After talking to Elderbug, because I'm not a monster, I hop down into the well and enter the underground. As I make my way through the Forgotten Crossroads, I come across Cornifer, another resident of Dirtmouth who's out and about mapping all of Hallownest. I decide to purchase the map from him, although I never end up looking at it. After fighting through some enemies, I find a stag station, which serves as this game's fast travel. I pay some money to unlock it for later. I take a seat on the bench, which saves my game and also resets my spawn point. I go further through Forgotten Crossroads and come across False Knight, a massive bug wielding a massive mace. However, this tough shell is just a facade. I manage to knock him over and he exposes his squishy little face. I manage to make quick work of him and get the city crest, which will be useful for later. In the next room, I find a snail shaman, possibly the last one alive. She gives me a spell called Vengeful Spirit, allowing me to unleash the soul that I've been gathering into a powerful projectile. After giving me this magical spell, she roofies me, locks me in her dungeon, and won't let me out until I kill a big insect that's been bugging her. Thank you. I'll be here all night. I managed to kill the big guy, but then immediately died to the baby that it threw at me. After escaping from the Snail Shaman's dungeon, I make my way to the lush landscape of Green Path, and immediately fall into a pit of boiling acid. As I make my way through Green Path, I run into Hornet, my half-sister. She's standing on the other side of a giant gap that I can't quite jump across. Luckily, a mosquito kindly lets me bounce off of him with my sword, allowing me to clear the chasm. As I go further through Green Path, I come across a giant Vengefly chewing on another little bug. Deciding to be a good Samaritan, I slay the beast and free its captive. But the thing is, the bug I rescued was Zote, the most stuck-up and full of himself character in the entire game. And now that I've saved his life, he's just going to be around now. There's nothing I can do about it. After that tragedy, I'm able to find a stag station, take another rest before the ensuing battle. The lag issues of the first stream make this Hornet fight way harder than it would normally be. I end up dying twice before finally triumphing over Hornet, unlocking Mothwing Cloak, and allowing me to dash. This will let me get around faster and access new areas. One of these new areas I can access is the store of the charm merchant Salubra. After beating Gruzmother on the first try, I'm able to buy Shaman Stone, one of the best charms in the game, and one that makes my spells much stronger. I also find another bug that used to live in Dirtmouth. His name is Sly. He's a shopkeeper who will sell some crucial items for later. He's a little bit sleazy, one might even call him Sly. Come on, it wasn't even funny the first time. Anyway, I make my way into the next area of the game, Fungal Wastes. It's overrun with fungi, dotted with acid pool, and there are mushrooms who shoot homing missiles. Luckily, I'm able to find respite in the Queen's Station, yet another stag station. From here, I'm able to venture deeper into the Fungal Wastes, looking for the elusive Mantis tribe. The Mantis village is guarding the Mantis Claw. It's an important piece of gear that'll let me cling onto walls, and wall jump, allowing me to access even more areas. The Mantises turn out to be incredibly territorial, so they don't take too kindly to a sword-swinging madman entering their village. They're able to keep me out for the rest of the first stream. So throughout the entire first stream, I was having network issues, and I just didn't have enough bandwidth. So that caused some issues. Between the first and second streams, I went out and got an Ethernet cable, which fixed the issues. So that won't really be a problem for the rest of the video. Despite the efforts of the strongest Mantis warriors, I'm able to claim my prize, the Mantis Claw. Using my newfound mobility, I'm able to gain access to the throne room and challenge the Mantis Lords. The Mantis Lords are one of my favorite boss fights in the whole game. The fight is almost rhythmic and dance-like. After defeating them, I gain the respect of the Mantises, get some money, and a charm that'll actually increase the range of my nail. Using the Mantis Claw, I'm able to complete some parkour and reach a gate with a statue of False Knight in front of it. The statue has a slot that perfectly fits the city crest. I place the crest in the slot and gain access to the City of Tears. It's called the City of Tears because it's constantly raining, and the builders had the bright idea of building a city under a giant lake. In the city, I met a bug called the Nailsmith, who can upgrade my nail if I give him some money. After the first upgrade, I'll need a rare material called Pale Ore to make the nail even stronger. But I don't have any yet, so I'll need to come back later. I make my way deeper into the city and meet Relic Seeker Len, who, unlike any other NPC in the game, actually gives me money instead of taking my money. This will be crucial for getting enough money to get future upgrades, and it's also the reason he's the MVP of this run. I go up through a series of elevators and make my way into the Soul Sanctum, a place where bug scholars did experiments on soul, which is the thing that I use to cast spells and heal. As a result of their experimentation, they made some mistakes. Not like errors, like they created creatures called mistakes on accident. Further into the Soul Sanctum, I find a charm called Spell Twister that makes my souls cheaper, allowing me to cast more of them and do more damage. After that, I enter the arena of the Soul Master. After fighting him for a while, he drops what looks to be a new spell. The moment I pick it up, he reappears, smashing through the floor and entering the second phase of his battle. His attacks become much faster, but I come out on top and gain access to my second spell, Desolate Dive. This spell lets me slam into the ground, dealing massive damage, and letting me break through weak spots on the floor. After leaving the Soul Sanctum, I make my way to the Stag Station in the city storerooms. I take the Stag back to Forgotten Crossroads where I can start going on a little upgrade spree. I buy a Charm Notch from Salubra, which will allow me to use more charms at the same time. Next I visit Sly and Dirtmouth, where I buy an $1,800 lamp and 2 Mask Shards. Mask Shards are items that will actually increase the amount of maximum health I have. I need 4 of them to get 1 extra health. And the Lantern lets me see in dark areas, allowing me to access some new areas of the game that I couldn't go previously. I get another Mask Shard from a boss called Brooding Moloch, and I find a 4th Mask Shard giving me a 6th hit point in a small platforming section in Forgotten Crossroads. Feeling stronger now than ever, I venture into Crystal Peaks where my lantern immediately proves itself useful, helping me to navigate a dark room. I venture further into the peak and find a husk who seems to be immobilized by crystals that have grown over him, so I try to knock him off the bench so I can have a seat. He doesn't take too kindly to this and starts shooting lasers at me. I defeat him with only 1 health remaining, which means getting that 6th mask was a really good idea. Also in Crystal Peaks, I find a key that looks like it has Sly's face on it. I'll give that to him later. I climb further up, venturing through probably the most difficult platforming section so far. It's very much intended to be done after you have double jump, but you don't need double jump, so I'm not going to get double jump. I make the climb up to Hallownest's crown and find a chunk of Pale Ore. It's the rare material that I needed to upgrade my nail. Heading down from the peak, I navigate a series of big hammers and make my way to yet another platforming segment. After dodging more lasers, spikes, and platforms that turn into spikes, I'm able to find Crystal Heart. Crystal Heart's an item that'll let me do a charged super dash. I immediately use this ability to access Crystallized Mound, where I find another Snail Shaman, however this one seems to be encased in crystal. I try to free her, but the moment I do, she explodes, and upgrades my spell Desolate Dive into Descending Dark. This upgrade means that it deals way more damage, and has a bigger shockwave, making it my highest damaging attack by far. It can deal up to 88 damage, compared to my nail which only does 9 right now. After exiting Crystallized Mound, I fall into Resting Grounds, which serves as sort of a cemetery for the kingdom. Here I find a monument to the Dreamers, the beings who were in a permanent dreamlike state to seal the Black Egg. The moment I take a closer look, I'm sent to the Dream Realm. In the Dream Realm, a glowing moth guides me to the Dream Nail, allowing me to enter dreams and see ghosts. When I wake up, I'm greeted by the Seer, who explains what the Dream Nail is, and offers rewards for collecting Essence. Essence is something I can collect by beating Dream Bosses. Dream Bosses are harder variants of bosses that I've already faced that drop Essence. I can also face Dream Warriors like Zero, a ghost who happens to be in Resting Grounds. I challenge him and claim my first bit of Essence. I notice that an area of the ground is pretty weak, so I smash into it with Descending Dark, which leads me into the Catacombs of Resting Grounds. From the Catacombs, I'm able to find an elevator that takes me to the far side of City of Tears that was previously inaccessible. I unlock King Station, a stag station that's located right smack dab in the center of the city. I take the stag back up to Dirtmouth, where I give Sly the key that looks like his face, and it gives me access to some more of his wares. This included an elegant key, which unlocks a door in the Soul Sanctum. In this new area of the Soul Sanctum, I battled the Soul Warrior. He was guarding a snail shaman, and it looks like they have been doing experiments on her. I take a closer look and try to free her, but then she screamed, exploded, and then made one of my spells stronger. But other than that, it was pretty normal. Next, I bring the pale ore that I found at the Crown of Hollownest to the nailsmith, who was able to upgrade my nail even further. As we all know, falling in acid sucks. We've all done it, but it turns out there's a simple solution. All you need to do is unlock the sewers, fight through a bunch of screaming sewer bugs, dodge birds that become heat-seeking missiles if you get too close to their nests, find a poop cave, defeat the dung beetle in the poop cave so you can hit the switch that gives you access to where his girlfriend lives, beat up her guards, take her to your allowing you to swim in acid. So it's pretty easy. Other fun activities in the sewers include killing the alluring goddess of motherhood, Flukemorm. Yes, that is actually what she is called. From the sewers, I can access Ancient Basin, one of the deepest places in all of Hollownest. After avoiding a shower of poison, I find the corpse of a bug that looks kinda like me. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of orange goo jumps in its head, and then the Broken Vessel wakes up and starts attacking me. Using my upgraded spells, I quickly dispatch it and collect Monarch Wings, allowing me to double jump. I re-enter the arena and use my Dream Nail on the body of the Broken Vessel to challenge Lost Kin, the Dream variant of Broken Vessel. Remember earlier when I mentioned refighting the dream versions of bosses? Dream bosses are harder variants of bosses that I've already faced. It takes a couple of tries, but I come out on top and get 400 Essence, which puts me closer to the 1800 I need to fully awaken my Dream Nail. I won't need it for the regular ending, but I plan on getting the true ending eventually. On my way to the stag station in Ancient Basin, I pass by the ruins of the White Palace, where the king used to live. I take the stag back to Forgotten Crossroads, the first area of the game. However, it's become infected while I was away. Now, some of the enemies are bigger, stronger, and explode. I make my way back to the arena where I fought False Knight, and find 2 maggots standing over the corpse of False Knight. I use my Dream Nail to challenge the dream version of False Knight, Veiled Champion. All of his attacks are much faster, and almost all of them deal double damage. After losing to him a few times, I decide to temporarily throw in the towel, and maybe come back later when I'm stronger. I venture into the Fog Canyons in search of the Overgrown Mound, containing yet another Snail Shaman and another spell. This new spell is Howling Wraiths, and it actually lets me attack above my head. I take a stag back to King Station, where I'm able to crawl through a hole in the wall and enter the Kingdom's Edge. I once again run into my half-sister and decide that I should try to beat her up to get revenge for the times that she killed me. Until your spell stronger. She attacks much faster than she did the first time, so she defeats me twice before I come out on top. After defeating her, she grants me access to a chamber containing the King's Brand. When I pick it up, I technically become the new King of Hollownest. The moment I grab it, the cave starts collapsing, and she decides to help me for once instead of trying to kill me, which is a nice change of pace. Looking to gear up, I decide to enter the Colosseum of Fools. After going through wave after wave of combat, I finally get revenge on Grell's mother from earlier, by killing 2 at the same time. As a reward, I get another charm notch, allowing me to use even more charms at the same time, and a bunch of money. Then, I decide to get back to my mission of stopping the infection and saving the world. A long time ago, the king sealed off the Abyss, the deepest point in all of Hallownest, which contains the Void, which I need to harness to become stronger. The problem is that only the king can break the seal, and he's dead. But now that I'm the king, I should be able to open the door. Using the King's Brand, I'm able to break the seal and enter the Abyss. The Abyss is dark and desolate, and the Void would like it to stay that way. However, I don't care, so I flip the switch in the lighthouse, casting light over the Sea of Void. The Void is like a living black goo, and it's angry at me, but the light makes it more docile. After passing the Sea of Void, I find a Metroid reference, and unlock Shade Cloak, giving me invincibility frames when I dash. While I'm in the Abyss, I managed to upgrade Howling Wraiths by using it in this room. It's actually the only spell you don't upgrade with a Snail Shaman. I climb out of the Abyss, and when I get to the top, Hornet's there and says something about my birthplace. I ignore her because I'm still kinda mad that she killed me 4 times. Shade Cloak also lets me pass through these void gates, letting me explore more of Fog Canyon. I find another charm notch, bringing my total up to 7 notches. I am currently using Shaman Stone, which makes my spells deal more damage, Spell Twister, which makes the spells cheaper to cast, and finally Soul Catcher, which slightly increases the amount of soul I get every time I hit an enemy with my nail. With all my upgrades, I enter the Teacher's Archives, which contains one of the 3 Dreamers. The Dreamers are a group of bugs in a permanent dreamlike state, sealing the Black Egg. The Teacher's Archives is home to Monomon, who is guarded by a giant jellyfish named Umu. With the help of Quirrell, I take it down and access Monomon's chamber. Quirrell once again helps out, using his mask to unseal the chamber, giving me access to Monomon so I can enter her dreams. Once inside Monomon's dreams, I'm able to smack her with my sword and break one of the Dreamer seals on the Black Egg. My next target is Hera the Beast, who just so happens to be Hornet's mom. Hera lives in Deepnest, another dark recess of Hallownest, full of spiders and other creepy crawlies. One such creepy crawly is Nosk. Remember at the beginning when I mentioned finding myself? Yeah, this is what I mean. I follow my lookalike, who turns out to be a giant poison-spitting demon monster. After taking it down, I find another pale ore, so I'd say it was all worth it. One of my favorite little tidbits about Deepnest is that they replaced all the regular spikes with just a writhing mass of spiky worms. After fighting my way through poison-spitting spiders, wall-crawling spiders, giant spiders, and spiders who can basically fly, I finally find a bench where I can take a rest. Hey, wait a minute, this bench is a trap! Ugh, my head. Where am I? Okay. I escape from my silken prison and end up exactly where I wanted to be. The Beast Den. Home to Hera the Beast. Which, it's a little mean, she's not that ugly. I cut through more creepy crawlies and find the next dreamer, Hera the Beast. I use my dream nail, beat her up in the dream realm, breaking the second seal and putting me closer to unlocking the Black Egg. When I wake up, Hornet is standing next to me, understandably a little upset because I did kill her mom. But then again, she did kill me a bunch, so I'd say right now we're even. She killed me, I beat her up, she saved my life and I killed her mom. I think we're good now. Once more, I take a break from saving Hallownest to try and take on another level of the Colosseum. This one promises to reward me with a chunk of Pale Ore. This round of the Colosseum gives me a little bit more trouble, and I decide that there's an easier way to get more Pale Ore. The Seer, who explained to me the Dream Nail, offers rewards based on how much essence you've collected. To get more essence, I decide to give Failed Champion another crack. If you hit him in the back, it prevents him from getting up. Another thing the Dream Nail can do is it'll actually give you soul if you use it in combat. I'm able to repeat the cycle, smack, Dream Nail, smack, heal, until I have full health and full soul. Once he gets back up, I can unleash a barrage of spells which knocks him over again, and I just simply repeat the cycle until he dies. With the new essence, I return to Resting Grounds and cash in my rewards, which includes another Pale Ore. With 2 Pale Ore and even more money, the Nailsmith will upgrade my nail further. However, I don't actually have enough money. Thankfully, the MVP of this run shines through again. Shout out to Lem. With my nail upgraded, it's time to take on the final Dreamer and gain access to the final boss. This Dreamer lives in the heart of the city, in a massive tower, guarded by a bunch of giant, spiky roly-polies. After dispatching the roly-polies, called the Watcher Knights, I can finally access the chambers of Lurien the Watcher. Defeating the final Dreamer, I unlock the Black Egg. I go back to Dirtmouth, talk to Elderbug one final time, because now it's time for me to take on the final boss of the game, the Hollow Knight. Now that the Black Egg Temple is unsealed, I'm able to enter the chamber of the Hollow Knight. I break his chains, and the final battle begins.
Go. Beat Hollow Knight.
Probably go back into true ending. And see. Someone's watching. Any bot watcher. Hello. And that concludes my playthrough of Hollow Knight, but not really. There was a bunch more content that I will be streaming live on Twitch at twitch.tv/spectralcheesecake. So head over there and check it out. Also, do the YouTube things. If you say like the YouTube word, the button's supposed to light up. So as long as I don't say the word, I don't think it'll light up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just find a YouTube video where they say the word subscribe. Wait, no, dang it!